Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure accessory unboxing and review. Today, we're taking a look at some alien stuff. 2 eggs, one open, one closed, a chestburster, and a facehugger. Now if you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as new alien content goes live on the channel. I'm not expecting much from this set. I've seen some reviews, and let's just say, some of the bits are more displayable than others. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. The reason why I picked this up is for the eggs. I want to have some eggs surrounding Ripley in the collection. As for the box art, up front we've got some images of the Fire Girl Toys eggs. That is literally the name of the company that made these. And then an inventory down below, which is a pretty funny read actually. We've got an open heteromorphic egg, just an open egg, a closed heteromorphic egg, a face-eating worm, facehugger, and a heteromorphic larva. That, I think, is supposed to be the chestburster. It's weird that they went with these as the descriptions for the bits, where for the title it literally says facehugger and chestburster. Very strange. On the bottom of the box we've got an image of set A and set B. I went with A just because this colorway is my personal preference, but if you want to go for something different, B might not be a bad option. On the back, the Fire Girl Toys website, as well as some warnings like choking hazards and whatnot. The box feels very cheap. It's made of this super lightweight cardboard. I'm hoping that's not a sign of the quality that we can expect from the pieces themselves. First in-hand impressions for the facehugger. I like the sculpt, but the paint might be a bit lacking. We'll dive in deeper in just a moment. Moving on to the chestburster, not sure where his dome is. There it is. And why is it hot pink? Once again, no idea. Lastly, the eggs. These things are pretty sizable, but in the movie, they were quite large. So I'm glad they didn't underscale the eggs. That's just my first impression. We'll have to compare these things to Ripley to find out if they are indeed the correct scale. It also has a decent amount of weight to it. What we're going to do now is get all of this stuff laid out in the light box and take a closer look. We may as well just start off with the facehugger because we already took a look at it in the unboxing segment. Sculpt-wise, size-wise, it's actually pretty decent looking. We've got the grossness on the inside, the vein work on the breathing sacs, the fingernails on its legs, because yes, facehuggers do have fingernails, which I only recently found out, and now I think they're even more creepy because of it. The tail has a bend to it, and some ribbing detail all the way down to the tip. My biggest complaint is it's painted so strangely. We've got this dark red wash over the top, then some yellow spots in certain places, like literally yellow dots, and black speckling. This isn't how facehuggers are supposed to look. The inside is okay, but everything else just ain't it. So I'm going to have to bust out my airbrush and see if I can't get this thing to look a lot better than it currently does. Oh no, the poor chestburster. Sculpt-wise, once again, it's actually okay. Like, we've got a decent amount of detail on the tail, all the way up to the back underneath the dome. The rib cage is present, the little arms, which are pretty creepy actually, the extended neck, some ribbing on the side of the head sculpt, very big chap-esque, the teeth, which unfortunately haven't been painted, and the skull underneath the translucent plastic dome. The issue I have with this is, the colour. Why is it this pink, especially the dome? It didn't need to be this hot pink colour. The chestburster is meant to be more facehugger coloured, with some blood over the top. Perhaps that's what they were going for, but they failed spectacularly at that. This is just not how it's supposed to look. At least the tail is wired, and I did manage to get the chestburster to balance on the tail, so if I do end up displaying this in the collection after I've painted it, then that's how I'm going to have it posed, sitting on the tail, just on Ripley's base. See what I mean? Balancing on the tail, no problem. Okay, let's look at one of the eggs, specifically the closed one. Because, like I said in the unboxing segment, the eggs are the real reasons why I decided to pick up the set, because both of these look fantastic. They're slick and glossy and slimy feeling, which is perfect for alien eggs. We've got some lighter airbrush shading in certain places and also some dry brushing down below. But up top, we've got this darker wash on the fleshy opening bits and this saggy looking skin for those opening parts. It's all just so gross and nasty. That's what I wanted from alien eggs, so Firegirl Toys delivered the goods with the eggs at least. The base is pre-attached to these things. They're quite large, they've got a decent weight to them, but they're not overly heavy, so on a glass shelf, you're not going to have any issues with these. Best part of the set for me, hands down, is the open egg. All of the stuff that I was ranting and raving about liking on the closed one is also true with this. But now there's so much more to look at, especially up on top with all of this really slick, slimy, fleshy stuff on the inside, and the tail of the Facehugger just looking like it's rotating around on the inside of the egg. You can take out this panel if you're careful, then you can pop the Facehugger in the egg, but that is wedged in there quite securely, and I've really got no idea how I'm supposed to remove it. If you know, weigh in down in the comments below. I don't want to take a pry tool and try and wedge it out, because the last thing I want to do is damage the paint applications on the inner part of the egg, seeing as though, like I already said, this is my favorite piece in this entire set. What we're going to do now is grab Ripley for some comparisons. I've already put the Chestburster on the base off camera, just because it took me a while to get him to balance. After I've painted it, this is where he's going to be permanently in the collection, just on Ripley's base behind her right leg. Is it me, or is he a bit large? Chestbursters by definition are meant to fit inside of your chest so they can burst out of it. This thing is so big that he's not fitting inside of anyone's chest. He's more like a chestburster after it's shed its skin, but before it's gone into its cocoon state. That's what I'm telling myself in my head canon. Next up, we'll put the Facehugger on the base, just crawling over the steps. No complaints with that piece, except for the way it's been painted, of course. One of the eggs on the right side, and the open one on the left. The eggs are a bit small, but they're not too out of scale. They're roughly the same size as the Hot Toys eggs, I believe. I'm happy with this mini collection of the evolution of Big Chap, from closed egg to open one to Facehugger to Chestburster. Then I'll have Big Chap displayed behind Ripley to complete the set. Silly, I know, I just want to try it. The Facehugger on Ripley's head sculpt. The fingers and fingernails do an okay job of grabbing onto her sculpted hair, but they don't wrap around the head tightly enough for this to look convincing, and the tail just hangs down all flaccid-like. We know when facehuggers attach themselves to people, they wrap their tail around their necks. And the tail for the facehugger is not wired, unlike the Chestburster. This I'm going to use more so as a proximity piece on Ripley's base, rather than something that I'd actually ever pop on her head sculpt. I figured it out. If you grab some of the green putty included with my figure first aid kit, it's sticky enough that it will adhere to the top part of the inside of the egg, then you can remove it. And this doesn't leave any residue on the surface. After you've done that, then you can take the facehugger and make it look like it's crawling out of the egg, which ups the creepy factor. You can even see the grossness on the underside. I think if I get a second set, then I'll display one of the open eggs like this. For now, I want to make use of the entire facehugger, so this is going to be used separately to the open egg, which means I will have to reinstall this piece on the inside of it, which can be a little fiddly to do. This is what I'm talking about. Closed egg, open egg, facehugger, chestburster, then the full big chap in the background, the evolved xenomorph, the perfect organism. Then we've got Ripley carrying Jonesy. We can't forget about Jones, of course. At the end of this, the set is far from perfect. Like I've already told you, I don't love the way the facehugger looks and the chestburster, the paint mostly. But the eggs are great. And the eggs are why I decided to pick up this whole thing in the first place, so I'm glad that the eggs are more than serviceable. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.